In this video, we should create the package structure and along with we should update our application.property file. The first package we should create, that is entity. The entity package should contain the class called department entity. Before creating the class department entity, we need to update application.properties. The first application.properties server.port. By default, our Spring Boot project takes port number 8080. So that's the reason we need to provide the different port number. So now we need to provide the connection URL for the MySQL. Spring data source dot URL that is equal to JDBC colon MySQL colon localhost colon the port number for MySQL is 3306. Now we need to provide the database name. Currently we haven't created the database, so now we will create the database now. Create database department DTO DB. So in MySQL workbench we have created a database. Yes, database has created. Now we can refresh. So again we will open our MySQL workbench. It has closed abnormally. Yes, the database has created here. Yes, the database called which one? Department DTO DB database has created. So once after database has created, the same database we should copy and we should use in our application.properties for URL. The second one we should provide spring.data source dot username. The username is root. Spring.data source dot password. The password we are given as a root. Now we need to provide Hibernate properties we should provide. What are the properties we can provide for the Hibernate? Spring.gpa hibernate.ddl-auto, that is update. And another one, we should view the SQL in the console SQL query show -SQL is equal to true. So these are the properties we should provide in our application.properties file. So once after providing these many properties, so now we need to create a class called department entity. Department. So now we should consider this class as an entity class. So that's the reason we should import the entity annotation called @entity. And again we need to provide the table. If we didn't provide the table name, by default it takes the class name only, it takes as a table name. So now we need to provide name is equal to table underscore departments. Now we need to specify the generation of primary key generated value is equal to generated value strategy is equal to generation type dot identity. So now we need to provide primary key now. Private integer ID and private string dname and private string location. And another one, we should provide the created date and modified date. We need to select provide date created at, and another one provide date updated at. The date should be imported from java.util or java.sql. We will import from java.util, or if you can import from java.sql, only the date format only it will provide. Okay, we'll import from java.sql. So now we need to provide the column name at the rate column name is equal to department underscore number, and here at the rate column name is equal to, because what are the name at the rate column, if we can provide the name, this name is applicable at our table level only. So department underscore name, here it will provide column department under location column. We need to provide the name. The name is created underscore date. So another one called column, because these are the column for database purpose only we are providing. These entity names are different and database column names are different. Updated underscore date. So these are the entity details we have provided. So now we need to provide a getter setter. Since we are using Lombok dependency, so we should add at the rate data Lombok and at the rate getter and at the rate setter. So we need to add no args constructor and at the rate all args constructor. So these are the Lombok details we have added. So once after adding all the Lombok details, so now the next step, we should create a repository package. We'll go here package repository. Under repository, we need to create an interface department repository. We need to create a interface name called department repository. It extends JPA repository. So we need to provide the entity class name. Here entity class name is the department and the data type of the primary key is integer. So save these particular changes. Once after providing all these changes, we should execute our Spring Boot project to make sure whether in the application.properties we have provided MySQL connection details. Along with we have provided a entity details we have provided in a entity department source file. In the entity package department source file, we have provided entity details. So whether it can able to create a table in our database or not, we need to make sure. For that purpose, we should run our Spring Boot project. The project is stopped now. Process finished with exit code 0. This is mainly because since we have selected packaging as a var, so open the pom.xml file. So here we have Tomcat server details. So select this complete dependency, just comment it. So now save this particular one. Once after save this particular changes, either you need to restart our IntelliJ or go to Maven, download source and documentation, you can do it. And it is a good practice made sync. So once after done these two things, so now again we can restart our project now. So in this time, this project should not stop. It should not exit. It should up and run. Yes, the project is up and running now. The Lombok requires enabled annotation processing. Enable annotation. Yes, we can click on enable annotation. Yes, the project is up and running. Go to MySQL workbench, and if you can refresh here, so see our database name is DEPT DTO DB. So here we can able to see our table. So again we can execute our table, use database name. In our case it is a department DTO DB. Use this particular database. Now we can provide query now. Select star from dot table underscore departments. Currently it does not have any records, but it is displaying the records. So it was showing created date, updated date, and department number, and department name, and department location. All the column names what we have specified in the department entity class, the same thing only it is populating here.